We're hearing it from the industry leaders. We're hearing it from the mouthpieces that matter, the ones that set our opinions, and it is an absolute pleasure to initiate this conversation of corporate leadership sharing their success stories. We have someone amongst us who will be our keynote speaker for this session, he is a man who's been an architect of the financial industry in this country. Please put your hands together in joining me in welcoming Mr. Rajiv Bajaj, the Chairman and Managing Director of Bajaj Capital, the architect of the growth of Bajaj Capital. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't meet men like this every afternoon. This is an absolute honor and privilege. Welcoming you, sir. Please take a seat. Inviting on stage to accompany Mr. Bajaj, if I could call upon Bhargavi Srinivasan. Bhargavi? Please put your hands together for Bhargavi, the founder of My Mom's Art Gallery from Gurgaon. Welcoming you. Welcome. Priyanka Vashisht. Aditi Sayal. Welcoming Aditi, the founder of Vocabulary. We're looking forward to hearing your journey. Shreya Mazumdar. Shreya is the Executive Director of AIACA. That's too quiet. We fed you for a reason. Use that energy back. Gitanjali Shetty-Kaur. Welcoming Gitanjali, the founder of Master Storyteller and a lifelong learner. Paresh Mehta. Here is the man himself, Mr. Rajiv Bajaj, sharing his journey and how he took the 20 offices of Bajaj Capital in 1990 to 230 offices in 2019. Miracles happen, legacies are created, and this is how we will learn how. Please, yes. Yours good? Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's good. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody is well fed. Nice. And I see her being stocking up, chewing. So I'm going to talk today about, not surprisingly, not finance, but wellness. And it's my journey. And it's about my journey. So these are two stories weaved into one, and we are hearing some, I've heard in the last 1 hour, some beautiful stories from some lovely ladies. But I'm going to speak about my story, and these are two stories weaved into one. One is about my love for the country of Japan, and what I've learned from that. I've been there 8 times, and I've picked up many aspects of their culture, which I have incorporated into my life and into my work. And the second is my own journey at Bajaj Capital. So are you ready, guys, for this little small journey, which we'll take together? Are we putting up the presentation? Is very small, so we would not rely on the presentation really, so I'll kind of talk extempore. So friends, how and where it started is that I went to Japan for a few conferences starting in 2001, and I, by the second or third trip, I started connecting, with that city, that country. I used to feel I am as if I am coming back home. And there was something about the people. You ask many of you who've been to Japan, how many of you have been to Japan? Now in Japan, if you ask somebody for directions on the road, And what they do is they say, come, come, come. They can't speak the language, but in sign language they say, come. And I was surprised that they would walk 1 kilometer with you to leave you to your destination. So there is something about that society, the compassion, the level of connect. So that was my start of my research in Japan. And then parallelly here, what has been happening, I'm 49 years of age now. And 4 years ago, we took an important decision that Bajaj Capital as a company should be run by professionals. So we cast a very professional board. Interestingly, two of my board members are here. Anupam is our board member and Raman, they're both here. So we got very high caliber people to constitute our board, and we hired a professional team to run our company. So what that meant was I was technically unemployed. So I had half a day free, and I'm not a guy who used to sitting idle. So I wanted to do something with my time. And as a part of my flow, I started researching human longevity, wellness. And I started dragging into this. And initially I used to, pinch myself that, Rajiv, why are you wasting, my self-conversation. Rajiv, why are you wasting time on all this? This is not your area. Read about asset allocation, financial services, portfolio management. But then I again, I just kept flowing in that direction. One illustration of flow, how it happens is that when you have lost a sense, many of you are high-powered entrepreneurs. So you must have seen that when you're so passionate about something, you just lose a sense of time. So you think it's 1 o'clock, but it's already 4 o'clock, and you missed your lunch. So has it happened to us? So it happens to all of us when we are doing something we truly love. So what I realized that study of longevity is a part of my passion. And the mission of Bajaj Capital is financial well-being over a lifetime. We are a 55-year-old company. I'm second generation. My father, KK, as we fondly call him, he started the company. He's very young at heart. He's only in his 80s. So dad, built this beautiful institution, and me and Sanjeev, my younger brother, we are looking to take it forward guided by our directors. So professionally run, in good hands, the company, and the mission is financial well-being over a lifetime. Customers with us for 4 generations. Our wealth managers, many of them sitting here with the company for 10, 15, 20 years. So that's the level of depth of relationships we had. So with that sort of a thing, I realized that maybe my future mission is not only financial well-being over a lifetime, but over next 3 to 5 years, I want to take Bajaj Capital to total well-being over a lifetime. Because guess what? When we sit with our clients, and any of you could be our clients range from somebody who's just started a job at 25 years and have only 100 rupees or 500 rupees a month to invest, or it could be somebody with crores of rupees. So it's not about how much money you have, it's about what is your intent, and do you want to go for your financial well-being. That is what Bajaj Capital is all about, and we treat everybody with equal respect. So our mission, but when we go and meet our clients, what happens is they want to talk about much more than finance. They talk about their own health, what are they reading, and as one of the speakers just said, that in an internet world, it has now become a boundaryless world. So every day we are being fed content on health, nutrition, wellness. But what I find is, these are little nuggets of information which are not beaded together. So they are not ready to wear. There are some jewels over there, but they are not beaded together to be a necklace which you can wear. So my thought was that how can I combine the two things? So again, cutting back to Japan now, I learned about this very beautiful concept in Okinawa in Japan. And I went and met these young girls, 2 beautiful young girls, Fuji-san, 101 years on the right, and Mio-san, 93 years. So these girls took me, and why I'm calling them girls, because I sat in a Vietnamese cafe over there in Okinawa Island of Japan. And it's a small Ogimi village which is known as the longevity village. It has the highest percentage of healthy centenarians in the world. So I wanted to go and study. They don't have hotels there. I stayed in an Airbnb for a week, and I was sitting in local cafes to study people's lifestyle, Vinayji. So what I saw there and interacted, there was a Vietnamese cafe. And the owner had left his finance job in Hong Kong and shifted here. I said, why the hell have you shifted here of all places? He says, because I learn about longevity every day and I meet very interesting people. So I said, who are your customers? My customers, he said, are these girls who come up. So these girls, I saw a group of them. These girls were average age of 80 to 90 years. And they come in their bikes. 80 to 90 years average age. They come in their bikes. They are super well dressed, so well turned out, and they have a nice interaction with each other. And each one of them has an occupation. Now, Mio-san on the left, she took me to her farm. And she said, we couldn't speak a word to each other. She took me to her farm. It was 1/4 of an acre farm. This farm is her life. This farm is her passion. And she fed me like 10 different vegetables from her farm, just like one would feed a grandchild. It was one of the most special moments of my life. So I think an applause for Mio-san and Fuji-san. So again, I continued this journey and I went to another blue zone. So this is a National Geographic Channel research done by Dan Buettner, and there are 5 blue zones in the world. Ikaria in Greece, Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, Loma Linda, California. So I went Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia in Italy. 5 identified. So even in India we have blue zones, but they cannot be certified officially. Which are the blue zones in India according to you? Where people have a very nice secluded life away from the humdrum of big cities and very peaceful. What could be the blue zones in India? But because of non-availability of birth certificates 100 years old, they cannot be certified officially. So one of them is Kerala, of course. Many villages in the hills, in Himalayan hills, in Uttaranchal, in Himachal, many small villages. And many villages in interiors of Kerala, in midst of the greens. So people who have managed to stay away from the humdrum of busy life, they are the ones who are today leading the best quality life. And what we realized is that we need to learn from them. And one of the most important lessons which I found from these people, all of them, is, and then I also had a chance to go to Maasai village in Kenya, in the deep, and meet this chief of the village, tribal chief, 107 years old. So what I learned from my Japanese research is this concept of ikigai. And ikigai is two words combined. And many of you may have seen this book, which is the most popular best-selling book in India right now. You go to any airport bookshop, and I've asked the guys at the counter, 40% of the total sales in that bookshop are of this village. Have you seen this blue cover book? Yeah. How many of you have read Ikigai? Wow. So that's a fair percentage, but all of you need to. It is a beautiful concept elaborating what I'm speaking about today. Iki and gai are 2 Japanese words combined, means life flow. Flow of life. Now, Japanese language is so deep in its in its content and depth. English is a very, very poor translation. So ikigai is such a deep concept that every Japanese kid, right from the age of 4 or 5, they know what their ikigai is. But if you ask them what is your ikigai, they will get stumped. They will not be able to answer it. Ikigai simply is your life purpose, life passion. What makes you tick? What wakes you up in the morning? What gets you going? I heard in the last 1 hour, or we are going to hear after me, so many stories of many of you possibly following your ikigai. So how can your ikigai be? How can you assess what you are doing is your ikigai, life purpose? There, I went into further research. I met this guy Professor Akihiro Hasegawa. He's the only guy who's wrote a PhD paper on ikigai subject in the world. So I went and met him, again understood his concepts. He explained to me his concepts of ikigai. But this slide is very important. Ikigai is, if you can't see at the back, I'll read it out to you. Ikigai is a combination of these 4 circles: what you love, what you're good at, what are your skills, what are you good at, what do you love doing, what the world needs. Where can you help people? Because life is, end of the day, it's all about being able to help and influence people. And fourth is where you can make money. Because we all have to survive, we need to make money. That's important. When these four things converge, the sweet spot in the middle is your ikigai. And it's a lifetime journey. It's a lifetime journey to find your ikigai. And do call me, ladies, I would love to come back for much more detailed sessions. I run these 90 minutes workshops where I can help you fill out forms, and we can do a group of 8 to 12 people or bigger groups. We can run these sessions to help you find your ikigai, get started on that journey. Or start by reading that book by Francesca Miralles and Hector Garcia, the Ikigai book. That is again a very, very good reference point. But Ikigai is a Japanese concept which I learned. Another Japanese wellness concept which I learned is called Hara Hachibu. It's a Okinawa concept. What is Hara Hachibu? It's about eating everything. You know, these days we have so many diet fads and so many things going on. Hara Hachibu concept is, and that's how people live long in that country. Hara Hachibu means eat 80% of your capacity. Eat anything you want. So if you like kachori, samosa, and all the nice things out there, guess what? You don't have to be on a diet. You don't have to deny yourself. So I have been practicing Hara Hachibu for over 10 years now. So what I do is, I do not deny myself. I eat anything. If I go to Jaipur, I do go to Rawat, I do have pyaz ki kachori, because everybody has it. How can I not live my life fully? So the purpose is to live your life fully, but also know these principles. And the best wisdom and knowledge resides with, guess who? It resides with our healthy elders in our own families. I want to ask all of you a question. Do you have any uncle or aunt or grandparent, maternal, paternal, who is an ideal of how a life should be lived well? Can you think of somebody? Now, those are the people who are our true gurus, who you need to go and sit with and note down their nuskas of living well. So what we've done in Bajaj Capital, we have total 3.5 million customers who we serve across 100 offices. But we have 9,000 clients, our most special clients, over the age of 90. And these clients, what my colleague Rati, she's sitting here, she went and did a first-hand research. She interviewed 50 of these clients and studied their whole lifestyle. We got a recommendation of 50 clients over the age of 90, and guess what we have compiled from them? So I have a list for you. What if I give you 10 pillars of living your life well? Would you like to know? Before I go? Yes. So now, again, Charulata Patel is somebody we met in the World Cup cricket, many of you watch. But is she following her ikigai? She is passionate about cricket. But it may not be her ikigai, because is she helping the world by doing this? Not really. She is pursuing her hobby. So we must distinguish ikigai from what is your hobby. Now, these are the 10 pillars. They are written very small, and I'm going to read them out to you. What are the 10 things? And ladies, you know all the answers. What are the 10 things you need to know or do to live your life well? What are the 10 things? Let's say it out loud. Be happy. So it's covered in what we call attitude. Contentment, happiness, it's an attitude. Life will take you through ups and downs, but you need to be in a positive state of mind. We cannot change, influence life. Life will influence us, but we need to know how to handle it. So our attitude is the starting point. What else? Socializing, yes. Relationships, what we call. Relationships are important, starting with your immediate family. Guess what? However much yoga you do, healthy eating you do, but if your own partner relationships or your family members' relationships are broken, we will not be truly have inner happiness. So we need to fix broken relationships, find a way. Nourishment, food. Food is one of the things, and we read a lot about it all over Instagram, all over Facebook, and I gave you one of the principles. There are 100 principles. But one thing which I learned from Blue Zones is 80-20 rule. Eat 80% of your capacity, and there is a documentary on Netflix which I would highly recommend you called The Game Changers. Has any of you seen? It is about not becoming vegan. It's not about becoming vegetarian, but it's about having 80% of your intake should be vegetarian. It's okay to eat meat, but it should not be more than 20% of your total consumption. And that's what Game Changers talks about. What else? We've spoken about 3 of the pillars. Exercise, yes. So, sir, what we call it is movement. Vinay, sir, 150 years ago, there was no concept of gyms. And there used to be, these 300 years ago in the Greek theater, Olympic theater, people used to have open gyms. In India, we used to have akhadas. But there was no concept of these closed gyms and, artificial standing on a treadmill and going back and fro. Now, I'll give you an example of a lady friend. I said, Rachana, what do you do for your exercise? She said, I don't care. I don't like going to the gym. It's the most boring thing one can do. I said, what do you do? You are fit. She says, I have 3 floors in my house. I go up and down. And I don't call Ramu, Shamu, please come and take my plate, please leave my plate. I go to the kitchen, I wash my plates myself. I take care of my own food. So that is her movement. Movement can come in any form. It could be 10,000 steps you take. These a lot of people are pacing and apps and all these devices. So that is a way to do it. What else? 4 we have covered. Sleep. Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. Sleep is, and this, when we speak to people, this is one thing which people forget and ignore. Sleep is so important. I have now come to a situation that I do not take any social engagements on weekday evenings because I need my 7-hour, 30-minute sleep. If I do not get that sleep, I'm cranky the whole day. My office people are getting very poor attitude from me. So I need to be fair to myself and to my colleagues and get a good night's sleep. What else? Take care of your thoughts. So, ma'am, I would say de-stress. Stress is something which is there. We cannot, like in investments, risk is always there. In every investment, like we say as in financial planning field, you have to manage the risk. Similarly, stress is there in life. So, little bit of stress is good. We will not succeed unless we have little bit of stress. But we need to know how to manage manage stress. Giving back to society. Now, that is where this is one of the most least intuitive pillars, what we call ikigai, which is that do something where you can connect with the society, give back to them. Either do something which is purposeful to you or find purpose in what you're doing. So we heard this, very dynamic young lady who's a software engineer. What's her name? Deepthi. Yeah, we heard Deepthi's story. Now, what Deepthi is doing is that, Deepthi, what you are doing is that you have, you are very clear about your passion and purpose and you kept pursuing it. People tried to dissuade you, but you did reach your ikigai. And now, through the softwares you are developing, you are shaping the world. You will leave a legacy when you leave this industry and possibly be an entrepreneur very soon, not working, creating value for Google alone. What else? What else have we left? We have covered 6, 7 of them. Ecosystem. Air we breathe. In Delhi, we are either 250 PMI. Whenever it's less than 200 PMI, we are very happy. The air is clean today. Now just imagine, how poor the standards are. So but it's not only about air quality. It's also about the pollution of thoughts. I hate reading newspapers. I hate reading newspapers because guess what? 80% of the news in the newspapers is negative. It depresses you. Do you feel that? One of my friends, he runs the largest newspaper in India, Dainik Bhaskar. They came up with this concept recently of positive news Mondays. Only positive news. Can we influence our newspapers to only publish positive news? To encourage, because you get depressed after reading the newspaper. So in the community you live, just imagine, in Bombay, people have to live in these chawls, small communities. If your neighbors are nice, what a pleasant thing. It is lack of pollution. It makes up for lack of, clean air, at least clean environment, clean people around you. Your ecosystem is very important. What else have we missed out? Spirituality. If we want to lead a healthy, happy life, ultimately we'll have to start believing, have some faith. Not necessarily religion, one could be an atheist, but it is about believing in a force bigger than us. That gives us, a reason to kind of live and get along life. And what else have we left? Financial well-being. If there is no financial well-being, now this is something my wife Anu added. She says, if I am tight about money, I'm not happy. So I need to do my own. I need to run my own gallery. I cannot be dependent on you. So I am in, ladies, I am in Women's Forum, and I do not, for myself, I have more women friends than male friends, because I respect women more, genuinely. And I do not use a term feminist for myself. I find it a very derogatory word, because I find it very opportunistic. A man stands on a high pedestal and says, I'm a feminist. Barack Obama writes an article. Just when Hillary Clinton is coming up for election, he writes an article, says, I'm a feminist. This is how I treat my wife. This is how I have brought up my daughters. Now, that's very opportunistic. I respect that man, but not for that. It's an equal world. Each one of us are born equal. I believe in equal opportunities. I do not believe in feminism. I believe it's an equal, in fact, it's a woman's world. And particularly the space of wellness, what I'm getting into, men are at a disadvantage, and they better be. Because they've been oppressive, and they've taken undue advantage of their physical strength or the domination they took in the field of other areas of life. But at least I'm happy that in the wellness business, women are on top. So whether it is Cameron Diaz writing on longevity, whether it is Julia Roberts following Eat, Pray, Love, whether it is Gwyneth Paltrow who's got a platform, whether it is our own power ladies like Shehnaz Hussain and Vandana Luthra, I'm really proud of all of them. So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, yes, Arvind. Arvind, Bio Ayurveda is an outstanding brand. I have tried some of your products. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity. This was just a very quick little introduction of my journey, what I have learned from Japan, and the path we are on. We have come and we have founded this platform, which we'll be putting up very soon in public domain. And this is called OmniLife. And I'll whenever we have time, I'll share with you the entire journey of OmniLife. But today, I just want to tell you that OmniLife is something about living your life well. And here are my own pictures. I'm what I call the lab rat of OmniLife. Last 1.5 years, we are doing the research. So that is me on the left, if you can see the picture, at the age of 38. And this is me on the right at the age of 49. So I'm trying to live OmniLife. Thank you.